Hi, this is Guitar Man Chilling, and we're going to be going on with the sixth lesson today. We're going to be talking about a little bit more about our first form bar chord, a little bit about our second form bar chord. We're going to mainly, the lesson is going to be on the major scale, which we talked about in the last lesson, in lesson 5, and we're going to be going on further with it today. We're also going to be talking about a little bit of chord theory. Now, chord theory is like math to a lot of people. They're going, hey, what do I need this for? That's what they're thinking. What do I need it all for? I'm just trying to play some rock guitar. Well, you don't absolutely need it, but you're going to see how handy it is. If you want to at least finish this lesson out. If you don't want to study it that hard, that's your call. But it's a vital part of music. And the more you know about music, the more interesting it gets. So at least try and give it a chance. Okay, so at any rate, we're also going to talk a little bit about the suspended fourth chord, which is a handy chord in rock. D, out open D, suspended. Another D, second form bar chord. Back to your first form A. A suspended, back to A. So it's a cool sound, and you're going to want to know the chord. It's a cool chord. We might even jump onto the ninth. Let's see what kind of time we got left. But you know, in blues, that's the ninth chord. So at any rate, we're going to probably work a little bit on that. But let's go on with the, let's go back to the first form bar chord, and let's talk about the G chord, okay? On the G root note, 6th string, 3rd fret, the G, first form bar chord. Okay, we talked about making a minor 7th, a 7th, but I want to also add this into that. You can also, now listen to the sound of the 7th. Now you can also add this, another 7th, it'll be higher, a little higher pitch 7th, right here. Now the 7th of this chord, by the way, just for a moment, is this note right here, okay? It's an F note. Well, there's another F note right here. Same note, they're both 7ths. So all you're doing is you're adding in another higher 7th. Now listen to the original 7th, the higher 7th. It's got that brightness to it because you're adding that note in there. So you can also play your 7ths like that. I don't want to confuse you, but I just want to let you know there's a lot of ways to play chords. You can switch them around many different ways. But that's a cool 7th chord. Okay. Now let's touch on theory for a second. Now I went to see where I could print you guys off, where you guys could print your own theory chart off. So go to Yahoo, and then go to plug in whole note theory chart. That's whole, W-H-O-L-E, note, N-O-T-E, theory, T-H-E-O-R-Y, chart, C-H-A-R-T, okay? And the first pick, when it comes up with your listing, should be that name. It should say whole note theory chart. Pick on that, and you're going to come up to, pick on the whole note chart, and you're going to come up with something that looks like this. Okay, I copied it off on a printer, and it's going to have, on the left side, it's going to have all the different names of chords, like the major, minor, suspended fourth. You know, it's going to go back down to the diminished, augmented, major 6, all these types of chords. A lot of these you'll never use in rock. So I'm not trying to get you to learn all these by any means. Don't get freaked out over this. Okay, but I want you to know some of the, at least some basics about theory. So anyway, print off that chart, and then when you get it, it should have, you know, it'll say like the major chord. It should have R for the root note. Say, some people call it the first of the chord. They're calling it R for the root note of the chord. It'll say major, R, then it'll say 3, then it'll say 5. That means, in theory, the major chord has the root note, the first, the third, and the 5th of the scale in that chord. Now try and stay with me now because it's not that hard. I want to show you something. Okay, you're going to need to know the scale, and if nothing else, if you don't like learning the mathematics of music, basically is what it is. the scale is good just to keep your fingers moving, to get them moving. Okay, you can play them all with downstrokes first if you don't know your up and down picking, you know, from previous lessons from somebody else or whatever. But you can pick them all downstroke with your pick, okay? Down, 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 down. But the scale goes like this. It goes, and I'm going to have you write this down on your chord chord chart sheet, okay? And that sheet looks like this. You'll remember it from a previous lesson, okay? And I'm going to have you write it down. I already wrote it down for you over here, and we'll go through it in a minute. But first, I'm going to show you how it's done, how this scale is played. Okay, let's go to the G scale. Now the fingering always stays the same up the neck, so you only have to learn the fingering actually once. Then you're just sliding it up and down the fretboard, just like you do your bar chords. So here we go. We're going to start with the G scale. It starts on the 3rd fret, 6th string. Okay. So you play with your 2nd finger, 6th string, 3rd fret. That's the root note of the scale. That's the G. Next, 4th finger, 6th string, 5th fret. 1st finger, 5th string, 2nd fret. 2nd finger, 5th string, 3rd fret. 4th finger, 5th string, 5th fret. 1st finger, 4th string, 2nd fret. 3rd finger, 4th string, 4th fret. When you get to that note, we've gone 1 octave. We've gone through one scale. Okay, we've gone from G to G, but that is the 4th finger on the 4th string, 5th fret. So playing it back, we've gone 1 octave, okay? And so 1 octave, we've completed that scale. We've gone G to G. Now, this particular scale riff, if you want to call it, does another octave in G. So we're on there, we're on the 4th finger, 4th string, 5th fret. Now we're going to go to the 1st finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret. 3rd finger, 3rd string, 4th fret. 4th finger, 3rd string, 5th fret. 2nd finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret. 4th finger, 2nd string, 5th fret. 1st finger, 1st string, 2nd fret. 2nd finger, 1st string, 3rd fret. Now you can play that part back as many times as you need to get it down, but at any rate, it's 2 full octaves, 2 G scales. 1st octave, 1st G scale. 2nd octave, okay, G to G, G to G. 2 octaves, G to G. Okay, so at any rate, what this is useful for, it's useful as a riff to run up and down the neck, like this, pick it all down at the first time. Okay, then you can go up to G sharp. And then A scale. A sharp. Okay, you get the idea. Now, play it all with downstrokes to get your down picking down correct. You know, that's where you're all plucking the strings downward. And then when you get good at that, running it up and down the neck, then start picking the scale up and down strokes. That's 1 down, 1 up stroke. 1 down, 1 up. So down, up, 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 down. Go up. Okay, so do that. I know that's faster than you can probably do it right now, and there's no problem with that. Do it whatever speed you need to do it accurately, and build your speed up as you go. Now, as you get good with all that down picking, then start your up and and get into your up and down strokes where you're going down, 1 down, 1 up. So. Okay, all the way up and down the neck. You know, just keep on going up and down the neck, and work on it, okay? And so, at any rate, and you know, that'll, and not only will you learn your scales, but you'll be working on your picking at the same time. Now, remember back when I showed you the fretboard chart, okay? So, I think I originally showed you in lesson 3, but this chart here, it shows you all your notes. Now remember, we learned that sharps and flats, sharps are raising, flats are lowering. So if you have an F here on the first string, if you raise it, F sharp. If you have the G and you're lowering it, you got a G flat or F sharp, whatever you want to call it. But at any rate, that's what that's all about. But they only show the notes on they don't show the sharps and flats on this fretboard chart. Okay, so but at any rate, this will help you figure out the notes as you're playing each scale. Okay, so you know, you'll coordinate your fingers and with the notes on your chart right here. If you need to, write the notes down, like when you're using your chord chart sheet right here. Go ahead and write your notes down. Write what notes they are. Write on the string if you need to, and that way you can have them. You know, if you want to, write down every single scale with all the notes in them, and you'll have them all at your access right there. You know, but eventually you're going to want to memorize them, and that'll be really handy while you're playing guitar, and especially when you go to chord theory. Let's talk a little bit. Now so we went through the scale. Now, back on this whole note sheet right here that I told you about. Okay, I just told you how to print it off, and they call it the whole note theory chart. Okay, now the first chord up there is a major chord. Now what they're saying is the major chord has the root note, or the first, okay, the third and the fifth. Okay, so let's go to the G scale. It's a comfortable position. It's on the 3rd fret. Okay, so they're saying that a major chord has first or root note, flat third and fifth. First, third, and fifth. So the first is the G. Okay, that makes sense. Now on our scale, 1, 2, 3, the third is what? It's a second, it's a 5th string, 2nd fret. So 1, 2, 3, that's the third. That's a B note. So what did we just learn? A G chord, since we're on the G scale, a G chord has a G and it has a B in it, because that's the third of that scale. 1, 2, 3. Now it also has a 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, what is the 5th? That's the 5th string, 5th fret, that happens to be a D. So we just learned a G chord has a G, it has a B, and a D in it. Okay? So those are the only notes in a G chord. If you throw any other note in it, it changes the name of the chord. So although we're playing 6 strings, there's only 3 notes in it. The 1st, 3rd, and 5th of the chord. The notes are just duplicated. You might have a G here, and you got a G here. You got a G here. Okay? So, at any rate, so you're probably getting the idea how these chords are, how they're derived, you know. The minor, they say it has the root note, the flat third, and the 5th. Not the third, a flat third. So, a G minor. Remember the G minor? On your first form bar chord, you've got the G, you lift your 2nd finger, you got a minor. Changes the sound of the chord. Well, that's because you got that flat third in there. Okay, so the first of the chord, it says it has the first. Let's go to the G scale because we're working on the G series of chords. Okay, G chord. So we go to the G scale. 1, so it has the first, that's the G, that makes sense. The flat third, 1, 2, 3 of the scale, 1, 2, 3, but it's flatted. They said flat third. We got to flat it. So now what note do we have? We've got a B flat. So now this chord, the G minor, has the G, the flat third, which is the B flat, and then the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to the D. So a G minor has a G, a B flat, and a D. It's the only notes in the chord. First, flat, third, and 5th. Okay. And as you read on, you're going to see what are they taking you through. They're showing you the sevenths. The 7th has a root, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7th. Okay, let's go to the 7th. The 7th in our first form bar chord is right here, the G chord. Okay, so now the 7th is you lift your 4th finger, right? And remember earlier in this lesson we talked about you can add the higher 7th. But regardless, you still only have the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7th. So let's find them. The first is a G, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the 3rd is a B, 3, 4, 5. The 5th is the D. Okay, and the 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but it's the flat 7th. We got to flat it. So in our scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flatted gives us an F. So those are the only notes in a G 7th chord. It's the 1st, flat 3rd, okay, 1, 2, 3, flatted, and then the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th, 6, 7th, flatted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, flatted, which gives us the F. Those are the 4 notes in that G 7th chord, or in the 7th chord. Those are the four notes, so since we're in the G position, in the G 7th chord. Okay? So that's what the notes in that chord. And like I said, if you're playing 6 strings, there's only 4 notes. That's because we're duplicating some notes. We were playing 2 G's right off the bat here. There's a G and there's a G. The low E and high string, the same notes, same names on that string. There's a G, there's a G. Okay? So that's a little bit about music theory. And I think we're going to hold off right there because, you know, I don't want to bore you to tears with this. And for you mathematical type people that want to dig in all this, I've given you enough where you can kind of go through this on your own. You're going to see as you get further into these chords, they go through the major 7s, major 9ths, they go through the major 7/13, they go through the, oh my gosh, so add 9ths to diminished 7ths, and they all have their rules. Diminished 7th, it's the root note, it's the flat 3rd, flat 5th, and the 6th, okay? You go through the add 9ths. Now, a lot of the stuff you don't use in rock. They might touch on a chord here and there, throw a note in that switches a chord around, but they don't use a lot of it. It's your majors, your minors, your 7ths, your 9ths, you know, major 7ths, but so you don't need to know all of this stuff. But go ahead and play around with it. And for you guys that are really technical, learn the full chart if you choose to. If you got a real good memory and you know, you think it's useful to you, or you just want to exercise your brain, all the better. Let me see what kind of time we got left. That's about it for this lesson. Boy, that went fast. So let's hold off right there, and we'll work on some more stuff the next lesson. Good luck.